Chapter 1. History of the Weapon World. Settled amongst a handful of inhabited worlds in the Cassandra system lays Volkus, a mineral-rich world centered around manufacturing, bristling with defensive installations and towering fortifications manned by Imperial forces and the slave legions of Mars. However, all of these defenses are dwarfed by the aptly named Great Gun. With foundations stretching miles in diameter and stabilizing structures delving to the planet's mantle, the Great Gun is a symbol of Imperial might. The dual barrels are heated to prevent ice buildup as they reach towards the planet's atmosphere. The housing of the Great Gun is a shrine unto itself, a mountain of metal serving as both divine ornament and practical necessity to operate the Goliath defense laser. While classed as an orbital defense gun, the Great Gun can reach out to up to 500,000 miles, far surpassing any other weapon in its class. The Great Gun draws pilgrims from across the system who name the weapon Sacred Death. On the rare occasion the machine spirit of Sacred Death is roused to bring its wrath to bear, the immense power of the gun and devastation wrought proves its worthiness to carry the name bestowed upon it. Surrounding the weapon is a barren and blackened waste of ash and scorched ruins, yet pilgrims set up their camps amongst these wastes, determined in their reverence. Chapter 2. Chaos Invasion. Chaos Lord Maladraxus the Flayer brought the might of his warband to the Cassandra system, a lucrative and opportune target for any capable commander of the Adeptus Astartes. Yet as the fleet encroached into the system, Sacred Death hurled its fury into the heavens. Behemoth plasma burst macro shells to assail the void and detonated amongst Maladraxus's forces, destroying them entirely. Chapter 3. Void Hulk. Many an Imperial fleet has struggled with the emergence of space hulks from the warp in their protectorate, all the more so since the opening of the Great Rift. Admirals bringing the full weight of their fleets to bear struggle to break apart the amalgamation of fused spacecraft. Yet when the Space Hulk manifestation of misery materialized in the Cassandra system drifting towards Volkus, klaxons sounded, hymns voiced from 1,000,000 souls as hundreds of tech priests and thousands of menials toiled to awaken Sacred Death. As Volkus turned in its orbit, the Great Gun aligned with the encroaching Hulk. What would take dozens of Astartes boarding parties or a fleet of Imperial warships took Sacred Death a single volley to open the Hulk to the void. The manifestation of misery broke apart, detonations raking through its structure as the plasma burst macro shells detonated within the Hulk, briefly igniting a second star above Volkus. Chapter 4. The green tide descends. The bastions of the Mechanicum and hives of Volkus seemed the ideal pickings for Orc freebooter war captain Gulgork. With all the wit and menace befitting a freebooter captain, Gulgork began with invading the moon of Kobolth orbiting Volkus. Yet the captain lived just long enough to see the folly of his plans as warning klaxons blared through his ramshackle command center. A massive energy spike flared on the surface of Volkus as Sacred Death, once again acting as the sword of the Emperor, fired skywards. Under the immense bombardment, Kobloth shattered. Volkus shook with the gravitational upheaval as it suddenly stood alone in the empty void. The remains of Kobloth rained down across Volkus. Yet the devastation caused by the ensuing rain of debris was seen as a worthwhile sacrifice for the Emperor's divine protection.